power, invisible, and you see it everywhere and every day. One power, indescribable, and you speak of it with every word you say. Mysterious until you know the truth. As simple as the love inside of you. Call it God, call it Spirit, call it Jesus, call it Lord, call it Buddha, Baha'u'llah, angels' wings or heaven's door. But whatever name you give it, it's all one power, can't you see? It's the power of the love in you and me. One power, one power.
Good morning. Welcome to everyone. Such is the nature of life that all it asks and all it wants is the opportunity to appear. You are that opportunity, and so am I, and so it is. Welcome, everyone, to CSL Midtown, coming to you live this morning from Atlanta, Georgia. We are so grateful that you have joined us today, and we welcome everyone, no matter who you are or where you are in your life. We welcome you, whether you're listening online right now live or on our recording that you can find on YouTube or Facebook or at our website. Our center reflects the beautiful, diverse tapestry of life that is everywhere present. So we welcome you, whatever path brought you here today. We know you are in the right place. And we know that you are an individual expression of the divine life in which we all live and have our being. So we welcome you to participate today and to become part of this community if you are so moved to. And we hope that those of you who are watching our broadcast on a social media platform such as Facebook or YouTube will like and share this broadcast with your friends. For a better understanding of who we are and what we teach, let's listen now to our Declaration of Principles as written by our founder, Dr. Ernest Holmes.
A few of the Declaration of Principles we live by.
I believe in one God, one absolute power, and first cause to all things.
I believe that this power is perfect love, and it creates out of a desire to express love.
I believe all thought is creative, and how I choose to think creates my personal experience.
I believe in the unity of all life, and the immortality of the individual soul forever unfolding.
I believe in the eternal goodness, the eternal loving kindness, and the eternal givingness of God to all.
And so it is.
So grateful. All right. The full Declaration of Principles is available on our website, cslmidtown.org. My name is Judy A. Lee, and I am the moderator and practitioner for today's service. Today, guess what? We're in September. Woohoo! And we begin to explore the topic of power to the people. And today's message will be the power begins within. So this month, we will explore many thoughts and feelings about power. For some people, power may be a hard word. Perhaps you feel powerless in some situations. Maybe you have felt abused or hurt by other people using their power, what felt like power over you. But the thing is, we all have access to power, and we find this power within. Alice Walker, the author of the book The Color Purple and many other great books, says this about power. This is from her. The most common way people give up their power is by thinking they don't have any. So, what are our beliefs about power? Do we have negative beliefs about power that we need to heal? We can begin by embracing power as a force for good in our lives. Ernest Holmes, the founder of our teaching, says this: there is something which waits our recognition to spring into being, bringing with it all the power of the universe. So we have access to this big power, this all the power in the universe kind of power. In this teaching, we recognize that there is a power in our word, that there is power in our thoughts, power in our feelings, power in our expectations. So we go within to find this power and to know that we are never separated from it. We access this power through our own thoughts as we connect to the one mind of God. Now, I would like to lead us in a spiritual mind treatment, which will be followed by music for reflection. As I do this treatment, please accept it for yourself. And we're going to go in and find that power, the power through our words, the power through our thoughts, through our expectations. And I'm just really aware of, in our region of our country, that there's been a huge disaster that has occurred that has affected a lot of lives and people that we know, and that there's another natural thing heading again towards, looks like more towards Florida this time, so that we just hold all of that in prayer and know that there is a presence and power for good in the universe, even through these storms, even through these experiences, and that we see the good in it in some way. So join with me right now and just take a couple of nice, slow, deep breaths and just allow yourself to be fully present right here and right now. Letting go of distractions, letting go of things that we've been thinking about or ruminating about or worrying about that has taken our attention away from the present moment. And the present moment is the moment of power. It is the moment of great creativity. So as I bring my focus to this present moment, I recognize and know that there is only one power. There is only one power, and it is a power for good. It is all around us. It is expressing through all of life. We live and move and have our being in this power. We are immersed in it. It fills us. It is the very beat of our heart. It is the thoughts in our mind. It is the feelings that we have. All of it is this presence of life. And whatever we put out into the world, whatever thoughts we have, whatever words we speak, whatever expectations that we have, that this presence and this power says yes to that. So today we take the time to put into this field of energy that we call God, that which we desire and know is for good in the world. So I just, as I turn within, I know that I am a place of power, that my words are powerful, that I have all the power of the universe at my disposal to create the life that I desire for myself and for the world around me. So today I just know for myself and for all that are listening that all is well, that no matter what the fears may be out there, no matter what the worries, no matter what old beliefs of lack, limitation, frustration, that those simply are not the truth. And instead, I speak words of power, knowing that my life, that the lives of all who are listening to this, have lives that are full of love, of peace, of joy, of goodness of every kind, that there is abundant flow of financial well-being, abundant flow of new ideas and new creativity, abundant flow of a life that is truly, truly worth living. And I just take a moment to know that, and to just know that there is so much good happening in the world. And I look for it and see it. I see it in the places that have had violent storms come through. So many people are rising up and giving of themselves. And this is they're giving of their hearts and their minds, and they're giving love, and they're giving of their finances. And I just know that as the world experiences these storms and ones that are coming, that in truth that all is well, and that this powerful presence of God expresses even through these, that we may see as disasters or as hard things in the world, but even in this, there is good to embrace. So I just know that this presence of life surrounds us, fills us, loves us, cares for us, and that these are the words of power that we speak. These are our beliefs. These are our expectations of the good that we experience in this life. So I'm just grateful for this. I'm grateful for the service today, for everyone who is here, who hears these words and takes some comfort and solace in knowing that really and truly all is well. So I release this now, knowing it is so, and so it is.
There is a power, a presence, one life of all, and no other power can exist outside of the infinite. One love, there can only be God's love. Oh yes, I know that I walk, oh yes, I walk in the love of God. There is a wisdom and a knowing, a loving and a truth. Whatever you need to know will come in God's way for you. Oh, just say until it shows. I will pray and I won't move on till I know, oh, that I walk in the love of God. For the power and the glory and the love of God is everywhere. I can see it everywhere, feel it everywhere, and I know in my heart, yes, the power and the glory and the love of God is everywhere. I can feel it, it's everywhere. I can see it, it's everywhere, and I know in my heart, yes, I walk in the love of God. There is a power, a presence, one life of all, and no other power can exist outside of the infinite. Oh, one love, there can only be God's love. Oh, yes, I know that I walk, oh, yes, I
Wow. Riki Byers Beckwith. Beautiful. Well, this morning, it is my pleasure to introduce our speaker. Reverend Deb Hammond is an ordained interfaith minister as well as a licensed religious science spiritual practitioner. And she is a member of the Focus Ministry Platinum Butterfly Ministries in Oakland, California. And she told me that she recently had resided in Savannah, Georgia, which feels like right down the road from us, and also Texas. But she's back in Oakland. She says that feels like home. So we're very happy to welcome her. It's hours earlier there than it is here, but we are happy to welcome Reverend Deb Hammond.
Good morning, good morning, good morning, everyone. It is such an honor to be here with you all today. Thank you for this opportunity, and just knowing and trusting that everything always unfolds in perfect and divine order. And even as I was putting this talk together and the opportunity to be able to have this talk, when I speak, I always tell people that when I get the topics, these topics start working me once I get the topic and know what the idea is. And this is true with this one, dealing with working with our inner power. And that inner power of truly connecting with that spirit, with spirit within, knowing that there is that within me that knows exactly what to do at any given time. And when I tap into that inner power, I know that all is truly well. Even in the midst of when I think that I can do this on my own, it's like, oh, I can handle this. How many times have you been in a situation? It's like, oh, I can handle this. It's like, I don't need any help with this. And something in the conversation, something in what the work that you're doing goes astray or goes awry. And then all of a sudden you get this, oh, that's not what I planned for. What do I do? And sometimes it's easy to go into, well, I've done this before. I can handle this. I have the power. I know exactly what to do. And you go and use what you think has worked before, and it doesn't work. Then it becomes, oh, what do I do now? My thing has always been, when I get to that place, it's easy to go into that panic mode. It's easy to go into, well, I don't know what to do. How am I supposed to do this? This is when we get to tap into our power, into our inner power, that God power within us. And so what I do is I'll go in and I'll ask, it's like, okay, Spirit, obviously my way is not working. So can you help me out a little bit here? And there is the information, that answer that comes to you. And it seems like when you get that answer, it's like, oh yeah, why didn't I think of that? Oh my gosh, let me go do that. And there's something with that answer that we get within us that empowers us to move forward, to take that big step, that big leap. There are times sometimes where, and I can speak for myself, I have permission to do this, is that there are times when I feel like I don't have the power to speak up sometimes. And I don't know how many of you have been in that kind of situation, sometimes with work or in relationships, with family dynamics, significant others, whatever it may be. And there's this tension that happens. And sometimes you feel that you can't say what it is that you want to say. So it's like you've given your power to this other person. And that's not the case, because when you do that, how does that feel inside for you? How does, when you give your power to someone else, you're not allowing your voice to be heard in these moments? How does that feel within you? I know for me, sometimes there's something that I start feeling really small. Because then it's like, well, I just can't say anything. I don't have any words for it. Or with work, well, if I say something, then I may lose my job. Or if I say the wrong thing, then they may look at me strange or funny or whatever it may be. And even when I first started ministry as a minister, I started speaking at different venues, different centers. And in my thought mind, I started thinking, who will listen to what it is that I have to say? And I realized that in those times, in those moments, is when I disempowered myself, that I thought that I was not good enough. But that was my ego. The ego will tell you at times, oh, you can't do this. Who do you think you are? And how many times do we listen to that egoic voice? This is that time when we really step into listening to that power. When we go within, when we connect with spirit within us and listen to what it is that spirit is calling us to do. Because what I know is that these opportunities that we get, we've been called to them. I look at it, I've been called to being a minister. Even in my place of resistance, I was like, nope, not doing it, not happening. No. And it's been 6 years now that I've been a minister. And I'm grateful for this because in this place, even as a practitioner, it's allowed me to remember to tap into that inner knowingness within me. There is the quote that was read, the Alice Walker quote that was read, and it says, the most common way people give up their power is thinking that they don't have any. How many times have you been in that situation where you felt like you don't have the power to make a change? You don't have the power to make a difference in the world. You don't have the power, whatever it is, fill in the blanks. But the thing is, you do. We all do. We have a power to do something different. We have a power to change generational curses. We have a power to heal ourselves. We have a power to go in and correct within ourselves that thinking that says we can't do it. That thinking that says, who are you to do this? Even no matter what it is that we've been through, those opportunities, I've always felt that they've been the challenging opportunities that have shown up that have felt like disempowering moments for me, has allowed me the opportunity to think back now and think about how stuff that's happened in my childhood, how it's coming up into the adulthood, and how I have the power to bless that past situation, to forgive those individuals that are been a part of that past situation, whether it's parents or siblings or whatever, whomever it may be. The things that may have happened in the past, we have a tendency as adults to hold on to them in the present. And they play out in our present moments. And when we get to that space of thinking what someone did to us in the past, it creates a disempowering moment when we're thinking about it now, because if we allow it to affect us in a way that shuts us down, that has us playing small, we've given that past situation more power than where we are in our present moment. And in this right now moment, in this present moment, we get to breathe into these incidents that have happened. You know, I have a situation that has come up for me in regards to not feeling settled where I am or where I have been. And up until now, that situation has changed. And when I sat with it and I thought about where in my past have I not settled? How am I allowing something from my past to now affect me presently? I went back to my childhood and things that happened in my childhood that allowed me to feel unsettled in what was supposed to be a comfortable home for me, did not feel comfortable. And so I realized that in that space, that in this present moment, how that has played a significant role in my life, in my adult life. And it's been decades that that situation has happened. And for decades, it's been wreaking havoc in my life, not knowing, not being aware of why my actions that have taken place, why I've moved around so many different times. And even when I was in Savannah just recently, before I left, not feeling settled in the home that I had, grateful for the home that I had, but there was something that was within me that kept allowing me to not feel comfortable in my home, because there was a part of me that felt like I'm not going to be here long. There's something that sort of moved me out of here, and I don't know what. And that was the case. There was something that moved me out of Savannah back here to the Bay Area. There were a number of reasons. But what I realized was that I had been in my home there in Savannah for about 4 years. And what I realized was that it took me a year to really make that my home. But I never thought about tapping into seeing what is it within me that was not allowing me to feel settled in this space. And so as I'm thinking about this, I realized how much power I was giving to the people in the past, and how much I was allowing that thought process to not allow me to live my life full out, to be in this place, to be able to say, this is home. Wherever I am is home. But also to remember to trust spirit within me, because I really had to go in to check to see what was it that was bringing up these old thought processes. And that was the thing that kept coming up, was that I'm still looking at this little girl who went through all of this stuff in the past. And I brought this little girl into my present moment. So I had to go in and do some forgiveness work, some healing work with my family, healing work with myself, even with that little girl who didn't feel safe, to be able to go in and have a conversation with her and to re-look at the situations that were happening, and even say to that little girl or to whoever the perpetrator was, to say, no, this child is safe. This child is at home. This child has a space that she gets to call home. And she loves it, and she has an amazing life. So imagine as this adult having this conversation with the perpetrator and with this little girl that's there. For me, it became such a shift in my awareness that there was this energy that kind of lit me up. It's like, oh, heck yeah, I can do this. I can feel settled wherever I am. I can feel at home. And I don't have to give my power away to certain situations. Just think about how many times have you given your power away? And sometimes we don't even realize that we're giving our powers away. But when we go small in situations, we're giving our power away. To people, places, circumstances, events, it doesn't matter. This is that time that we get to step into the space of remembering who we are and whose we are. That we have that divine power within us, that creator that created us. And it knows exactly what it's doing with us. And it's asking us to trust it. It's asking us to, Spirit is asking us to lean into me. Allow me to guide you. When we are in that space of feeling powerless, We feel like sometimes that we can't move forward, that we can't do anything right, that it seems like everything is just going against us. And then put that same situation when we turn it over to the spirit within us, when we go within, when we go into meditation, when we go into prayer, even when we go to practitioners or ministers to ask them to do treatments for us. How many times have you felt when you've gone into that space that that situation has changed? That moment, it has shifted you into a way of your yes. Because when we're in that place of tapping into our inner power, it's like, it's like Wonder Woman or Superman or something. We feel that we're invincible, that we can do anything. And in our minds, because we get to create and set our intentions for that we are desiring. And are we creating those intentions from a place of powerlessness or powerfulness? We get to choose. Are we setting intentions based on what someone else wants us to do? Or are we setting intentions based on what feels right and perfect for us? I recently had an opportunity to work with the company, because since I've been back, I was like, okay, I need to have some work. And I realized that it was comfortable for me to go back into what was familiar for me. And so I applied, and they interviewed me, and then they hired me. But there was something within me that was not resonating with this company or with this position. And I realized I was in that place of, let me do what's comfortable for me rather than what I'm being called to do, rather than stretching myself into something else. And so in that moment, I was giving my power to this company. And because I'm like, oh, I need to, I'm going to have some money, and they have this and this, but it wasn't feeling right. And so I realized that I had to come back and turn down the position. I had to stand in my power for what felt right for me and turn down that position. And that felt like it was one of the best opportunities that I had. And so now it's like I'm still, in this process of trusting spirit that the perfect outcome is unveiling, is being revealed to me. And I get to step in my power of, what does that look like? How am I to do this? And so I remember when I was here in the Bay Area, and the center that was a part of, we would have this prayer. And it was such a powerful prayer because it reminded us of our own inner power. So what I invite for you to do is to be in that space, to remember those times when you feel like that you don't have your power, that you've lost your power, you're giving your power away. And to tap within to that inner knowingness and ask spirit, what is it that I'm to know about this situation? How do I stand into my power? And for those of you that are doing this, great, because you knowing how to do this, you get to teach others. You get to support others in standing in their power. So as I move into the space of wrapping this talk up, I am grateful because this has allowed me this morning at this time that it is here to stand in my power and to know and trust spirit will always send me the right and perfect words to speak. Because although I've written up a script of what I was going to say, I had to trust that divine power within me to be able to just speak and trust and know that whatever it was that I needed to say was going to be the right and perfect thing. That's standing in your power, because that's listening to that inner spirit. And so I'm going to close this talk with this prayer. And it comes from, I don't know how many of you have it. It comes from this book called Your Needs Met. And what I invite you to do in this moment is to just allow your eyes to close if you choose to. And just listen in as I read this prayer. And it says, God is the only power in my life. Nothing from without can touch the perfect life of God within me. No past experiences have power over me. I am a perfect child of God, and nothing that anyone else has ever done or said can interfere with my divine inheritance. The power of God is greater than any circumstance in my life. The strength of God is mine to use. Turning away from the feelings of inadequacy, I discover that all that I need is within me right now. As I forgive the past, I find that I have nothing to atone for, nothing to run away from. As I cast off the old me, I discover my true self. I take dominion in my life. Old habits have no power over me. Conditions have no power over me. Personalities have no power over me. I take dominion. I am whole. I am free. I am complete, now and forevermore. And so it is. Thank you.
And so it is. Thank you, Reverend Deb Hammond, for that beautiful talk on power. All right. Now we come to the time in our service where we give back as we are able to this community. If this is where you get your spiritual nourishment, please consider supporting us in a way that feels right for you. So we're going to now say our affirmation for prosperity. If you want to put that slide up. There it is. No, that's the announcement slide. How about there it is. Okay. Now that's the last, that's not it. There it is. There it is. All right. And there's the QR code. You can use that, or you can just go to the website to donate. And the affirmation of prosperity is, I live in a universe of abundance. As I freely and joyfully give, I join in the divine flow, and all that I share with life returns to me abundantly, and so it is. So we hope that you will consider giving to our center. We do have a few announcements. I first want to just thank everyone for joining us today. And remember that if you liked what you heard, share the links for the service on your social media. The next Sunday, we usually have our in-person service on the first Sunday of the month, but we had a glitch. Anyway, we had a situation where we needed to change it to the second Sunday. So next Sunday, October 13th, is our in-person service. And our speaker will be Reverend Dr. Raymond Anderson. And he's a dynamic, wonderful speaker. So we invite you to join us in person at the Garden Hills Rec Center. That address is on our website. And we always follow this by a wonderful time of fellowship and eating with our potluck. So please join us for that. Also, just wanted to announce that every Sunday at 10 a.m., we have our adult study group that meets on Zoom. And we are currently studying the Science of Mind textbook. So please feel free to join us any Sunday. You can get the Zoom link at cslmidtown.org. Also, Reverend David Alexander, the senior minister at Spiritual Living Center of Atlanta, is teaching a 10-week class entitled The Roots of Science of Mind. The class began on September 25th, but it runs into mid-November. So if you're interested in that, please go to the SLCA website for further information. We are pleased to be able to continue providing our community with excellent Sunday speakers from all over the country. And we have really enjoyed hearing these many varied messages and the high quality speakers that we have had. And we hope that you will spread the word about our great Sunday speakers to your friends and your families. And as we talked about, next Sunday in person, but back to November, we're going to go back to the first Sunday of the month. So we hope that we will see you next Sunday. And if you are a person who has been wondering when or if we will ever have a senior minister again at CSL Midtown, know that at the present moment, it would require greater financial ability than we have right now to have a senior minister. But we are moving toward that goal. And we know that there are many steps to get there, but please know that we are in that process. So I'd also conclude the announcements with just inviting you to join us on the Zoom link after the service. The link is found at cslmidtown.org. We have a discussion with our speaker every week after the service. And so I'm looking forward to talking further with Reverend Deb Hammond about her talk today. And I hope that you'll join us there. So if you'll join me now in our closing affirmation, this will conclude our service. I leave this place now knowing something better than I knew before. I go forth into the world with a heart full of love and a mind full of good sense. I look at the world in a greater way, knowing that I have within me everything I need to create the life I desire. I give thanks for this understanding, and I am grateful for the spirit of life that lives through me, and so it is. See y'all next week.
God is my source, God is my power, God gives me everything I need. So I give thanks for all my blessings. God gives me everything I need. That's the whole thing. God is my source, God is my power, God gives me everything I need. So I give thanks for all my blessings. God gives me everything. Here's your magic wand. Sing with me now. God is my source. It says you can sing. God is my power. God gives me everything I need. So I give thanks for all my blessings. God gives me everything. All right, let's declare some joy. Joy is my source. Joy is my power. Joy gives me everything I need. So I give thanks for all my blessings. Joy gives me everything I need. Let's talk about peace is my source. Peace is my source. Peace is my power. Gives me everything I need. So I give thanks for all my blessings. Peace gives me everything. All right, what about love now? Let's do love. Love is my source. Love is my power. Love gives me everything, everything that I need. So I give thanks for all my blessings, everything. Let's go back to God now. God is my source. God is my power. God gives me everything, everything that I need. So I give thanks for all my blessings, everything I need. Do it again now. God is my source. God is my power. Put your hands together. God gives me everything I need. So I give thanks for all my blessings. God gives me everything, everything that I need. God is my source.